uh, we're going to do this again. This is such a great album that I'm actually going to do it again, part two. Okay, we're going to go deeper. So I'm wearing my Zeppelin shirt. Uh, Unfortunately, the band basically imploded before I could even wear this for practice. So, which is typical. Usually, bands, I sort of have like a 1 month rule and like a 3 month rule. And then if that goes like 6 months to a year, usually bands don't last more than a year or a year and a half. But typically, the die off rate is really quick, usually within the first month or three, right? And then there's like early enthusiasm, and then it's like this project lasted 3 weeks, and then the drummer didn't want to do it. So me and the guitar player want to do it, but he doesn't want to do it. And uh, to be completely honest with you, I'm the singer for the people who never seen me before. Uh, I talk a lot about singing and stuff like that. So uh, I was glad it's over. You know, my feelings about this is that, I mean, I just don't want to do it with the band anymore. I love singing in here, and I'm going to do some singing with this. That's where we're going to go deeper today. But I'm an artist, right? I write music, and I have to feel it. You get this from somewhere, and then I sing when I feel like singing. But if you take it and clock it in and out, and then you say sing, right? The art goes away and you just become a performer. So every band including Dio, right? He's a performer, right? Sometimes they call them, performing artists, right? Uh, so these guys are like performers, much like Circus Coming to Town, like everything, Metallica, Iron Maiden, these are all running like huge corporate machines. That's sort of it's like a circus that comes to town. If you think about it, it's the same exact thing, right? Circus comes to town. What happens? A big production comes in. Then they bring a lot of trucks in. They have to unload all the equipment. They got to set up the stage show, and then they finish. They wrap it up, and they go to the next town. Right? Same exact thing with a band. So it's this big production to where it's like the art is gone, and you're more of like a performer. And if you're a singer, um, you got to sing for like 2 hours and stuff. And I'll be honest with you, maybe I'm not cut out to sing Zeppelin because I've never done it before. So I thought we sounded all right. Given enough time, we would have. There a lot of like obscure songs that we play that I didn't even know. So it's always hard when it's like ocean, songs like the ocean or like Fool in the Rain and then like the Rover. I'm like, dude, I've never even heard these songs before. I just know like Whole Lot of Love. Not to say that I know someone's gonna be like, oh, dude, he's a poser. Well, I've been listening to Led Zeppelin a long time, right? Since like when I was like 16. So I do have the albums. I just have the first three. You know what I mean? And the when I don't want to say like, oh wait, the popular songs is all I know, but I mean, I like songs that just hit you in the face. And the other songs, they're more like just laid back and it's like a different era of Zeppelin. I'm not saying it's bad, but I mean I can get into it, but I haven't heard it. So, you know, up to Houses of the Holy I've heard, I think. Parts of Houses of the Holy. I want to play songs like Dazed and Confused, Whole Lot of Love, Rock and Roll, Song Remains the Same, Bring It On Home, like rockers, right? That kind of stuff that just kind of hits you in the face. So probably, I don't know. I mean, he lasted three jams and then he just didn't want to do it. So I could find another drummer. I have another bass player that wants to do it, but I'm just going to let it go for now. I mean, the thing is, this is that whole thing about once it becomes like a job, right? Then it's not fun anymore. See, you know how you like playing guitar, right? And it's like the greatest thing in the world. And you're like, or like singing for me, or well, I play a little bit of everything. So, and then you're just like, wow, man, this is so cool. It'd be so cool to do it as a job. You won't like it if it was a job. So people that want that, they don't understand that that's not once it becomes a job, it's a job just like everything else. So it's like you got to show up to practice every Wednesday. And I just felt kind of, constricted, like, ah, shit, I got to do that now. I just want to do it in my own time. So I'm not going to rekindle it because I put the bands together. So maybe in the future, but even the first 3 weeks, see, I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought, let's just have one jam and that's it. And the drummer wanted to do it at the time. So we said, all right, then let's try it. So that was the only reason it carried on to three jams. He would have just ended the first jam and he basically bowed out. So I was like, a part of me did that. because I was just like, oh, thank God, because it's just like, you know, uh, what is the point in singing in a cover band and then basically torturing your vocals for singing for 2 hours? At this point in my life, I want to save this for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? I don't want it. The more you use it, remember how Dio, uh, he basically said he would never sing in the shower or he wouldn't sing recreationally. He would only sing when he was going to practice with the band or record or go on tour because he felt, his words, he felt there are only so many notes that somebody from up there or down there gave you, and I don't want to waste them. So being in a cover band and singing for 2 hours, you know what I mean? It's just kind of, it's a waste of my voice because this is built in here, and then it feels all kind of groggy and stuff the next day, like we talked about in the other videos, that you're going to feel a little bit of it because this is like a projected voice. You have to do that to get over band. I just wanted to test the technique, and I'll do it again sometime, but I kind of don't want to do it anymore. And that's it, because we've already played Dio shows, like 20 shows. I've sort of done that already, and then I'm just like, what's the point? I love to just do it all here. I could do it all here, dude. That's all I want. I just want to release music here, put it out, and if people like it, then form a band. Then, because it's the same thing, the band's gonna fall apart. And I don't want, how many times can you become sort of, I hate to say this, but take this lightly, but heartbroken. You think that something's gonna happen, and then it just doesn't happen, right? So anyway, that's the thing. It imploded, and I'm not gonna rekindle it at this point. At least as of today, I'm not gonna do it again unless I come up with a cool technique that, oh wait, I got to test this with the band. So anyway, I thought I would go deeper and then just talk about this because the first video I did, I may not have been clear, right? So I'm going to sing a little bit today. So let me get the lyrics up real quick. Just in case I need them. I might sing a line or two from each one, talk about his voice, basically. Let's see. Trying to Burn the Sun, Elf, lyrics. All right. So, that's the thing, is that we already talked about, like, I'm not going to repeat what I said in the first part, but I think what I wanted to stress is I have this album, which I'll review one day. I didn't want to do that today. So we really want to talk about this. But from this to this, his voice change is huge because he made his voice bigger, right? He kind of, sounds more like modern Dio, where, and then this sounds a little bit more, still sounds like Dio, still has a big voice, but this is bigger. This sounds like that bigger voice. So you can see that transition. So that's what I wanted to point out with with this one. That's why I like this one, because this sounds, and the weird thing here is that if Blackmore hadn't, basically broken this band up and then, formed Rainbow, right? They would have probably went more places. I would have loved to see where this band would have went the next album, right? Because this is amazing. And the progression between this one and this one is huge, right? So here they start sounding more like 70s kind of, hard rock. And, so anyway, it's just that voice. I may sing or I may not sing. I don't know. These things I don't plan out. It's just like if I'm excited, I sing. So, and the other thing, Dio called, very important to the discussion with Zeppelin and everything we're talking about. Dio called his singing, anything before Black Sabbath, is gentle singing. That's crazy, right? Gentle singing. He just said it's just gentle singing because, it's not hard singing like Sabbath. So even Rainbow, he said gentle singing because, in Rainbow, he would sing like, what's that song? Let me see, any of those, even those hard songs on Rainbow, right? He just said it's gentle singing because he's not putting as much into it, right? I knew though I sold my soul for water, 9 years worth of breaking my back. There's no sun in the shadow of the wizard. See how it glides, wise like children hair. I haven't sung all day, so I think I just sang one line in the shower. I was singing some of this in the shower, just a little bit. So anyway, he considers that gentle singing. So you could literally sing like that, you know. And we talked about in the singing log, with just a little bit more cutting power, right? So that it cuts through the band. So in the studio, you don't have to worry about it. So that's what I mean. I just love doing this in here and then recording my own music and that's that kind of stuff. Playing with a band is just kind of stupid because when you play with a band, I mean, it's fun if you can find the right people, but then it's like you're never going to satisfy everybody, right? One person might be sold on your talent, another person might be sold, but then that third person will fuck everything up, right? They'll go in like a Trojan horse and then turn the band against you, or it's just all this stuff that you've got to deal with all these people. I get like 20 telemarketing calls a day. Somebody's calling me from Modesto. Who the fuck is calling me from Modesto? Obviously, telemarketer. Okay, or whatever. So that's the thing. And back then, I think people played at a sensible volume. A friend of a friend, the guitar player from the Zepp band and the Dio band, he told me his friend actually got on stage with Dio when Dio was playing, like stage diving, that kind of stuff. And he's like, it's not even that loud. So sometimes there's that perception that they're loud, but they know how to, project, their instruments, right? And it's not really that loud, right? In like a band like this, man, I just hate trying to keep up with the band. It's just the worst feeling, and the monitors are never there. And I'm just like done with it. Unless like I'll do it if there's like some band that's like ready to tour, right? Somebody important, somebody, that wants to be like, you're the singer, come on, try out for our band. I'll be like, great. But I don't want to do that for like a cover band and then waste my vocal cords. So that's why I think I'm going to be, I might just do one-off jams, but, just these 3 jams did it for me. I was just like, okay, I know how that is again, And, I'll tell you one thing. I found out that I love being in here. And I told you this before. The minute I go out there, right, it just crushes your spirit because it's so depressing. Dealing with other people, dealing with, rock musicians are usually kind of very closed-minded, especially for like metal, and they're not open to the stuff, you know what I mean? There's, I hate to say it, but, there's a little bit of racial resentment here and there. They probably don't want me as a singer, So, things like that. I'm not saying anything about the Zepp band, but the 3 of us were good. I just think maybe the drummer, the guitar player, the guitar player I've known for a while, so he's cool with me. The drummer, I think he just left because he came from San Diego, and I see this phenomenon a lot is that people get over enthusiastic in the first jam, and they're like, "Dude, I can make it." It's like it's only an hour, I can make it, and then they figure out that oh shit, they got to do this every week. It's commitment, and then they just back off. Basically, it's like we weren't good enough, right, to warrant coming over here for an hour. And I'm just like, what do you expect? You expect Led Zeppelin, So that's the thing, unrealistic expectations. Even Led Zeppelin, right, had bad days off. I mean, they had bad days or off days. So it's that aesthetic where you stick together. Even though it's like you have to understand, okay, that's the singer. And even if he fucks up, we're going to do it. In like local bands, what happens is that you fuck up one song and people start doubting you. And then that's it. You're only as good as your, basically, your last performance. So anyway, I thought we were good, but I was happy it kind of ended. I was like, oh, thank God you put me out of my misery, because that was the first time I sang Zeppelin. And I was just like, I didn't even know if I could do it. Do justice for Zeppelin. Sometimes if you can't do something or you don't sound good, just don't do it. This I'm really familiar with, So that's the thing. We talked about a lot of things. And then Black Swampy Water, great song. And you can hear that big voice. It's the biggest voice in the whole song. You know what I mean? I think I did it a little bit in the last one, right? Black swamp of water, that's where I caught her, yeah. A black swamp of water, yeah, yeah. Very big voice, right? He comes in, of course he does it better than me. So I'm not trying to do that. A lot of this stuff, I'll tell you, honestly, it's an excuse for me to sing because I love singing, and that's how it should be. It should be joyous, right? And also because I love it, right? Prentice Wood, This song is great. Oh, this is a great melody, right? Watching all the flowers grow, soon they'll be around. I love to watch the hills countryside. Watch the bird with purple wings, doesn't make a sound. He's waiting for a wind to take a ride. Right? Very cool melody. And then he kind of takes it up. This is the thing we talked about, how like his whole range is in the passaggio, right? Which is from basically E4 to like C5. C5 being the highest note for a classical singer. So he's really good right there. Most rock is right there because you have to be heard over the band and you can't really sing low too much, right? Because that's when, the higher you sing, the more you stand out. And for that, people started singing more. That's why, when you sing in a rock band, you always have to sing a fifth above the guitar. You can't sing in unison most of the time, right? And he goes, hey, they're looking fine. I wish they were mine. And oh, feels so good. Apprentice wood, right? And some of this stuff, it's only going to come out good if you feel it, right? I think I feel it today. I'm not sure. Sometimes it, feels good when you're singing it, and then, it sounds like shit when you hear it back. So I like the morning voice. This is the morning voice. I just took a shower. So it's about 11 o'clock. So it's when your voice is more husky, right? You should really record when your voice is more husky in the morning. I'm giving you a lot of vocalness. Dio called this vocalness, right? Vocalness means to him understanding how your voice works. Sometimes it's different for each person. For example, Pavarotti wouldn't eat 4 hours before he sang because if you eat, it brings up gases and it fucks up the vocal cords. Then the vocal cords aren't going to function properly. So that was Prentice Wood. When She Smiles, again, the great song here. Let's see. I don't know if I want to. Oh, this is the one he goes, she makes me happy when she's high. She even makes you happy. And that song. Let's see. So very cool. Everything here is cool. And if you pick up a little bit, who does this sound like? She makes me happy when she's fine. Who does that sound like to you? That came after Chris Cornell, right? Chris Cornell has basically stolen Dio's voice. And I'll talk about this in another video. So he's basically stolen Dio's voice and then uh, just kind of went to town with it. Forgot to mention today I'm going live, so I don't know how this is going to come out. So there's probably for when there's transmission mistakes, right? It elongates words, and sometimes when you sing, maybe so let's see how this turns out. Hopefully, some of the singing will come out okay. So Chris Cornell sounds very much like Dio. Next, Good Time Music. Great song here. This is a song that goes, I have the lyrics up right here. Are there hard days ahead? Should we put it away for a rainy day? Is the moon out tonight? Should I wake up today? I think it's just gotta say. And there's this, it goes in this cool part. Life is too complicated to do much more creative. Waiting for the man to take us down. That it kind of sounds like a black church music or something, right? And you can't have no money, and the cloudy days are sunny. On a woman that look like men, but it's smiling time again, 'cause everybody wins. Good time music's coming back again. Without a key reference, that's all I can do. So very good song. Cool melodies. So basically, Dio and Mickey Lee Soul keyboards wrote all songs. So all songs composed by Ronnie James Dio and Mickey Lee Soul. So anyway, Liberty Road, again, another great song here. Um, oh, this is the one that goes, any time of day, see her on the way, straight down Liberty Road. That one. If I can't remember all of it, I'm not going to sing it because I need a key reference. Let's see. Great songs. All these are great songs. So we're already on side two. Shotgun Boogie, remember, this is the one I said that Dio sings very fast in this one. And I said that usually he always has a lot of space in the phrasing, right? Like, for example, he doesn't cram all the words together. Holy diver, you've been down too long in the midnight sea. Oh, what's becoming of me, right? A lot of space in there, right? He's not cramming the words in there like Bruce Dickinson or, like, Iron Maiden, for example, uh, language have been cited and the evidence of war has begun when melodics fighting men and swords and shields gleam. Well, to where there's so many words that like I fucked up when I said Nordic, right? Because it's just like, it's like a tongue twister. There's so many words that, you have to like, just like, you know, if you don't practice singing that fast, first thing in the morning, everything's kind of lazy, right? So it's not that fast usually. It's more like, Holy Diver, right? It's like all spaced out. But in this song, he shows us that he can just, do basically anything. And the song really goes this fast. I believe this is a cover song, right? Shotgun Boogie, you know, and I can't even sing it this fast. So, and his diction is just perfect, right? Someone in the front of the shop needing a bar, hiding boogie woogie from the back of the bar, rooting, tooting, shooting in the mouth of the horn, waiting since the day was born. And then it goes like that fast. And then, no, you know, uh, you know, uh, stalling whatsoever, just kind of, cutting through that like a knife, right? And then he just goes, "Ah, da 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 da." And I can't, I can't do it because I can't put the words to this because it's so fast. I would have to practice this, right? So, and then this is the part that goes, hands come alive, moving side to side. Hands come alive. A shotgun boogie gonna make it go down, go down, go down. All right, right? Shotgun boogie gonna go down. I love that part. So, great song. And then he usually has the song to where it's like very kind of, pianissimo singing, very gentle singing, right? Even though he called all of basically anything before Sabbath, Rainbow included, as gentle singing, this is even more gentler. This is usually that, high head voice. It's like, touch me, I feel. This is Wonderworld. Take me, I'm real. Sail away into the sun. I'm everyone. Wake me, I dream. 'Cause I'm what I see. Drift away into the night. No key references, the best I can do. And I believe this is where it goes, the lyric back here. I'm the fire burning higher. I think I'm getting this wrong. I don't know if that's the right melody. Trying to burn the sun. And then Streetwalker, again, great song. Starts off very mellow, and then it sort of builds up, and then it goes into a, Jethro Tullish kind of thing. It goes, piano, piano, piano. I don't know. For some reason, it reminds me of Jethro Tull or something, even though I don't really know Jethro Tull, except that one song that Dio did, sitting on a park bench, tung, 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 whatever that song is, anyway, Streetwalker, right? Streetwalker, you've been so good to me. Sweet talker, you've been so good to me. I think it's a little bit different. Just like a lonely hearted stranger, you make me feel. And then it goes into that part. Down, then switches tempo. Magic, there's magic in the way you make me feel. Magic. I can't believe it's true. So spooky. The way you always get me higher. Who the woman put a spell on me? Something like that. I got to get the melody in my head. Oh, this part's really cool. It's another one of these kind of tongue twisters. I gotta get well before the well runs dry and shut me out again. Gotta get well before the well runs dry and shut me out again. I love this part. You got something to sell in the midnight hall on the run. It's just so cool. It goes back to this part. Magic. Oh, this magic can make me feel magic. Well, I can't believe it's true. Then it goes back to the mellow part again. Streetwalker, you've been so good to me. Just like a lonely hearted stranger, You feel like you ought to be love woman. Anyway, very cool album. I would just say, I just wanted to point it out the difference between these two and how he made his voice consciously bigger on this. He probably learned how to do that or just made himself, came to the realization that he wanted that more. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. I just want to talk about his voice and have a little fun singing. Great album, like I said. Pick this up. I've heard this album before, obviously. So not that this is the first time hearing Earls. I wouldn't know all these songs. So I've heard it before on CD or YouTube. But then now I've got an LP, and gave it a few more listens, and it's just very cool, very cool. But I think we covered a lot of new ground here, right? We talked about how like Chris Cornell kind of sounds like that. I'll end with this with Chris Cornell. That song Soundgarden is basically like a Black Sabbath. In that San Pablo interview in 1992, I think, Dio, he was just like, it sounds like Dio Sabbath, right? Soundgarden sounds like Dio Sabbath. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. Supposedly, he actually met Chris Cornell one time. And then Dio's favorite Soundgarden song was Spoon Man, right? And when you hear Chris Cornell sing it, it almost sounds exactly like Dio. So Dio is basically in his head going, dude, that sounds just like me. Like if Dio were to sing that song, it would sound exactly the same. That song that goes, Spoon Man, cause I'm together with your hand, save me. Cause come together with your hand, save me. It's basically Dio. He might as well just be going, slipping away, heartbeat from disaster. Even the melody sounds just like that. So it's the same delivery as Dio, and it's the same kind of even melody as Dio. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. So very much, Chris Cornell took this. I would actually say Chris Cornell took Dio's voice, and he kind of is doing what Dio did here. And Dio sort of moved on from here and just went metal, metal, right? And he didn't, like I said, he kind of, it didn't go back to this, I think, to where it's like this kind of stuff, there's a lot of, it's got all the same things as grunge. Like, it's got like, swampy blues. It's got, Americana, it's got singer-songwriter, right? So basically, Chris Cornell basically sounds like Dio, Elf, right? That kind of stuff. So, and which at that point, Dio had sort of been there, done that, and he just wanted to focus on just, singing, aggressive, right? Like I said, I'll mention it for the third time. He basically said everything before Black Sabbath is gentle singing. So he just dismisses as gentle singing. Even everything I sang today, right, would be gentle singing. I'd love to be, just do that. That's all you need, really. So anyway, I'll end with this. Dio has a huge history, right? And then there's that record Dio with the Domino, right? Which I did some research on this, which turns out it's actually I think it's the begin. Now it's a Domino's Pizza. So that might have been like, in Cortland where I grew up, right? So that might have actually been like where Domino's Pizza came from. That would be weird, huh? So today it's a Domino's Pizza, Dio at the Domino's. It used to be called Domino's. So that's kind of weird, right? So anyway, and on that record, so basically what I'm saying is he's done a lot of records. He's got like 100 songs before Elf, right? With like, Ronnie and the Prophets and all this kind of stuff. So that Dio at the Domino record, right? There's a rumor, I don't know if this is true, but he basically broke like 100 of them because he didn't want people to know that that side of him, the gentle singing part. He didn't want to know that, on that album, he's singing like Chubby Checker, he did the twist, Robbie ran out into the fifth, but here I am, and he's singing like that. And then he's going, and later on he said, this is funny, he's so cool. Later on he said, we're not Chubby Checker, we don't want to do the twist. And he actually sang that. So anyway, and then, a lot of stuff, and I think that, hey, Diana, once you leave in town, sit down, let's have it out and have a smoke, yeah, right? And then a lot of great songs over there. So there's a rumor, like I said, I don't know if it's true, but he didn't want that record to get out because once he became Dio, he basically just broke that Dio on the Domino record. He broke like 100 copies of it supposedly because he didn't want people to see that he's like a heavy metal god, and then he didn't want people to know that he's sitting there going got the feeling I'm a falling like a star up in the blue. That's a great song. That song's called Fallen, right? And a lot of the stuff that he's covered. So he didn't want people to know that side because he didn't want people to think that he was not metal enough or something like that. So supposedly, I don't know if he did, but supposedly that's why that record is hard to find. It's actually on eBay for like I think it's might have even be signed, or maybe it's not signed, but it's going for like $1,500. So very few of those around. And it's surprising how there's like, and people are actually bidding on it. I think, or not bidding on it, but they're actually interested on it. Like looking into it. Like I look at it casually. I don't want $1,500. If I was like a millionaire, I would get it. But people out there have that kind of money. Is what I'm saying. It's crazy. So anyway, guys, great album, great voice. And I'll leave you with this. Some of these things I'm going to be repeating because I'm sure that not everybody's going to watch this video. But there's that quality in Dio's voice that's kind of soothing, right? You hear his voice and it's kind of soothing, right? That is a very operatic quality. It's called singing legato, right? Remember I talked about like legato line, right? Singing a legato line. So a lot of that comes from that, just that soothing quality. When you hear Dio's voice, it's like it's very soothing. So that is a quality that is very like opera singers have that. Anyway, I'm gonna stop there. One of these days I'll do this one. But anyway, guys, just felt like singing, and then talking about Dio, and then bringing a little bit of joy into our lives. Okay.